where to begin.
You please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in the matter before the court to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, subject to the pains and penalties of perjury?
Sir, do you swear to tell the whole truth under the pains and penalties of perjury, yes or no? Stand right here for a moment, if you don't mind. Can I invite you folks to take a walk for a moment? Please rise for the jury. Just pause for a moment.
What's love but second-hand emotion? What's love got to do with it? Who needs a heart when the heart can be broken?
Have a seat for me, if you don't mind. Promise, under the pains and penalties of perjury, to tell the truth when you're asked questions.
Absolutely.
Your Honor, an instruction that he's taken a note.
I'll make it clear.
When you're close to me, if I tend to look dazed, I've read it someplace. I've got cause to be. There's a need for it. There's a phrase that fits. But whatever the reason,
Folks, please have a seat as you come in. Please have a seat.
So the question that we are here to answer today is, what's love got to do with it?
What, sir, is your name?
Robert Joshua Grossman.
Sir, do you know Kouri Richins?
I do.
How do you know her?
I've known her for, I don't know, a decade probably at this point. We met in South Carolina. She was flipping a house, and I answered, and a help wanted ad.
Then did you come to know her in South Carolina through helping her flip homes?
I did.
Did there come a time you moved to Utah?
Yes.
When, sir, was that?
It was just as COVID was kicking off. So 2020, I believe, or early in the year.
And why did you move to Utah?
To work with her, help her flip houses.
And when you moved to Utah, where did you stay?
Initially, I stayed at a flip that she had acquired in Heber. I had my dog with me. We do live-in flips, me and the dog. Yeah.
Oh boy. This is going to be fun. I'm going to keep myself very small because I want you to see him and not me.
Other than accommodations, did she pay you for your service?
We didn't have any contractual agreement. She took care of me. I lived for free. She gave me money whenever I needed it. I liked her. I liked her, so I'd worked for free. Not that she didn't, pay me. She did from time to time in lump sums. And
now let me be very clear. I saw people online saying things like Josh Grossman was performing, he was not genuine. It is my steadfast opinion that nothing could possibly be further from the truth. And why I am saying that is because he was incapable of sitting still. He was reading these texts, sitting in the silence, utterly dying. And importantly, the more I study this video, the more I realize he was looking for her from the second he walked in. And he continues to try to find her the entire time that he is in that room. Josh is in the green. Kouri's in the blue. Oh, babe, there's nothing more I want than to be with you now. No matter what's going on, I love your company. I know that's a lot at times. The time we spend together has somewhat of a cloud hanging overhead. I really look forward to quality time with you that isn't rushed and doesn't have a goodbye lurking around the corner. Wish we could talk. I feel like maybe you're having a rough day in some ways. Sure would like to hold on to you, to do something to make you happier right now, to make your tomorrow better. I love you today even more than I did yesterday. Promise with my heart, I'm a very lucky man. Kouri, just wanted to say I love you and good night. 2/19/22.
Sir, would you like to
Thank
take a
you,
break?
gorgeous. I love you as well.
Mr. Grossman, not with me. Do you need a minute or two?
I don't know what I need, man.
And I felt the prosecution handled this witness terribly. Because the more upset that he got, the more obvious it became that not only did he deeply love Kouri Richins, but that he was very conflicted in the end about her guilt.
She has a dream about you two living in the mansion, and that she could be divorced and you could live there and just have a farm and a number of things.
Yes.
Okay. And then if we can go back to the other one. But then she tells you this isn't possible, it's just fun to dream about, right?
What you just highlighted, yes, ma'am. Yeah.
So, Mr. Grossman, well, would it be fair to say that the talk about a future together between you and Kouri was really more a fantasy than a realistic expectation?
My opinion? You want my opinion on it?
Sure.
I'd say yeah. Yeah. More of something that maybe I thought I wanted, but didn't necessarily, like I couldn't picture it in the future, you know. I don't know if that answers your question.
It does answer my question.
That he didn't know whether she was guilty or not, despite the fact that he had been told by the investigator for the Richens family that she was.
Oh, man. So, never for a moment did I have a clue, a hint, not a fleeting thought that something intentionally might have happened to him, right?
Right.
Let alone from her. So, you know, I think we'd gone a year without speaking at that point, and I don't know if I turned on the truck radio and I heard she wrote a book and wasn't surprised, but then I started. I listened to the interview she gave about her book, and then maybe I did some research on my phone and saw that she had just been arrested, or either she just got arrested, I don't know, days later, a week later.
Okay. And then do you recall who you met with when you talked about this conversation?
After I found that out, I was overwhelmed with, guilt, sorrow over my wrongdoings, infidelity. And that's when I called. I was trying to get a hold of Eric's sister to tell her I don't think she was home. I spoke with her husband instead. Told him what I told him, and he told me, I forget the guy's name, but he said, I think there's somebody that would like to talk to you. And it was the Richens family private investigator. I think I called him immediately after I hung up, spoke with him. I don't recall the ins and outs of the conversation, but he told me that Kouri had done it, that she was guilty. He couldn't tell me why, but she and that changed everything for me. I was blown away, and then I'm like looking at everything in our past with a different set of goggles on, through different lenses, and I was trying to figure out if she did it and I could help. That's what I was going to do, and that's sometime after that. It wasn't the first time I met with the investigator. I think it was the second time or something. It dawned on me, oh man, what about that one time she asked me this? What about the time she said that?
Okay,
and
so let me just stop you just for a minute so I can ask a couple of questions. So Investigator Gabler, the family's detective, just told you she's definitely guilty.
I don't know if he used the word definitely, but said that
She did it.
right.
All right. So then you started thinking back with 20/20 hindsight about conversations,
Right.
which led you to think of the conversation in the Uentas. Fair?
Yes.
All right. Today, sitting here, when you think back on that conversation, does that conversation seem like it was a strange conversation to you?
Man, I can't tell one way from the other anymore. I've been confused for years,
So it starts out feeling like a huge win for the prosecution because this is clearly a motive.
It was the first opportunity to really, that was the first time.
Did there come a time during that discussion that Kouri Richins asked you about killing?
Do you want me to contextualize it?
Please.
So yeah, we sat there and talked for quite a while, and I'd never seen her that way, obviously. It was a heavy conversation, and I'm not used to that with her. She's not used to being open like that. So at one point, my opinion then, probably still now, looking back, was that she was looking for any reason. I think she was exhausted emotionally, and I think she was looking for a reason to divert the conversation away from herself, because she does that. She does that about lots of things in every normal life, and I think that's what she did. She asked me, go ahead, I'll let you ask, I know.
Sure.
But
did she ask you a question about killing?
she did ask me yeah.
What sir did she ask?
She asked if I had ever killed anybody.
And was that specific to killed anybody while serving in Iraq?
Right.
Did you respond?
I did.
Did she ask a follow-up question?
Yes.
Sir, what was that follow-up question?
She asked me how it made me feel or something along those lines. And then I answered her. I took it as not out of the normal, though, really.
Now, I want to make it very clear from the start. This is not the limerence phase of a relationship. What does that mean? This is not like the beginning of any relationship where there's lust and you're so like cutesy and you can't wait to see them. That's not this. This is in another category entirely. These two did not meet yesterday. They have known each other for a decade. And he has always been a relationship that she kept separate and apart from her regular life. She meets him flipping a house in South Carolina.
And she was flipping a house or more than one house there.
One at that time.
And she hired you to do some work on it, correct? Was that in response to an ad? She hired you?
Yeah, IKEA furniture is what it originated as.
And she winds up hiring him to be like a handyman for her. But the arrangement is not a traditional contractual agreement. It is a deal where he agrees to come out to Utah, stay at whatever house he's helping to fix up for free, and essentially like get a stipend periodically and like live off the land, like, right? And you definitely get the image of like this guy and like his dog and the mountains in the background. I mean, he's that guy, like a drifter kind of. It is striking that he looks like Eric Richins. But it apparently is also clear that he does not act like Eric Richins. How do we know that? Well, Eric Richins is a very well put together guy. He runs a successful business. He has a legitimate adult business partnership equipped with legal documents and correct insurance arrangements. And he's so responsible that he worries his wife is going to financially destroy them. So he puts all of their assets in a trust in the event that something should happen to him. His children are not, because of their mother, on the street. Because he can see that she's the worst business money manager on earth. So Eric is the opposite. He's thinking strategically. He's thinking long-term. He's thinking family, right? It's about the kids. It's about the house. It's about paying the bills. And that's not fun. But we learn that Kouri Richins is very superficial. She cares a great deal about how everything looks on the outside. She cares about appearances. She cares about Eric's reputation almost to a fault because she's unwilling to taint his memory. And as a result of that, can't do more than subtly imply that he had a painkiller problem in high school, which I guess is not a terrible thing for her if she's trying to cover the fact that she poisoned him. But she's trying to not tarnish his reputation. And we learn from witnesses that came yesterday that she was worried Eric would tarnish her reputation, and that was a big part of why she didn't want to get divorced.
What else did Kouri say during that conversation about her marriage with Eric?
She talked about how she was feeling trapped. She was feeling like there wasn't an easy way forward out of the marriage. She felt like she was worried about her kids. She was worried that she was going to lose them and that Eric was going to take the kids from her and that his family was going to turn the community against her.
The other thing that we also learned from Kouri's friends who testified against her for the prosecutor's office yesterday, all of her friends thought she was super wealthy, like a mogul in real estate.
Did her best to tell the truth. I don't think that she was overly trying to smoke Kouri Richins here. I don't think she was trying to be overly nice to Kouri Richins. And from my perspective, Sleuthy said, why wouldn't you demand a copy of the deed? Sleuthy, how do I explain this to you? You would be shocked at the people that come in and do certain things in life. And you're like, you signed this without reading it? What are you talking about? Like, you signed the bottom of it. Or why would you have done this? Why would you have continued to pay money without seeing the deed? You trust your friend and you think they're a real estate mogul because they tell you they're a real estate mogul. You trust your friend and you think they're a real estate mogul because they tell you they're a real estate mogul.
Because in Kouri's mind, property is the symbol of wealth, not dollars.
They can have all the life insurance money. They can have anything they want. Take it. Take it, you know, but they can't have my house, Bryce. I don't make Eric money. I have put $80,000 towards our mortgage in the last year. I paid $60,000 in cash of my money towards that pool. Like, this is my house, and I'm going to fight for it. I just want you to know. And whether I have to fight the girls about it, I'm going to. They can have half of C&E. They can have all the life insurance money. They can have anything they want. Take it. Take it, you know, but they can't have my house, Bryce.
So for her, and this is so important, guys, it is so important because it's not money that was the motive here for Kouri Richins. It was property. And while they are sort of the same thing, they are distinctly different. And now that we are getting to read these texts between her and Josh and adding them with everything else that we're hearing, we are getting a clear picture of what happened here. Not for his sake, but for her sake and for the sake of her children. We learned from the conversation that she had with Eric's business partner's wife on vacation a few days ago that she was worried that if they got divorced, the boys would rather be with dad because he could give them a fancier lifestyle, which is absurd because she was going to get in a divorce. The deal was she'd be getting a huge amount of money every month. So it doesn't really make sense. On paper, it does not make sense that Kouri Richins would want Eric Richins dead. He was the one paying the bills. He was the one who enabled her ability to play with money like it was Monopoly money and buy all these houses with absolutely no long-term vision of how to get out of this freaking hole that she was in, right? So this is not as cut and dry of a money motive as the prosecution wants us to believe, because he's the only reason that she's able to play with money like it's fake. Because he's the one making sure they have food on the table every month. But that's not fun and that's not sexy. And Kouri is not the only focus of Eric's life. He has 3 children who he gives a ton of time to. He has a business that is very successful. He loves hunting. That is like his huge focal point, the thing he loves most in the whole world, we're told, to the point where he would go for months on end on hunting trips all over the world. So Kouri was not first on Eric's list. He loved her, certainly, right? She's in his phone as, I think it's like his princess is how she comes up on his cell phone. My princess or something like that. He loved her. But Kouri is desperately insecure. And we learned that in some of the text messages with Josh Grossman. She talks about how when she was younger, she would be cleaning toilets through her aunt's house cleaning business of these gorgeous mansions, and how property, not money, was the symbol of wealth for Kouri. Now, in the end, Kouri Richins turns out to be more motivated by money and success and the appearance, more importantly, of success than she is by love. But I don't think that she has the capacity to think long term. So in the short term is where her mind is. She's thinking short term. And one thing that she does not see coming, and we're going to talk about this in a bit, is how her feelings will change after Eric is gone. Because she's not a sociopath. So she ends up feeling regret, and when push came to shove, the thing that she was so attracted to Josh Grossman because of, which is this confidant intimacy, this closeness that she has with him, gets ruptured by her inability to tell him about the murder. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. So in order to understand that part, we first have to talk about what Kouri and Josh's relationship was and what it wasn't. So this man, even though he tells us that their relationship, their sexual relationship, only started just before he comes to Utah, my guess is that's not entirely true. My guess is that relationship started before that, right? Because you don't make the decision to move across the country from South Carolina to Utah for no money to help a woman that you're not having a committed sexual relationship with. You just don't. It's not what you're doing, you know? Or that you don't have very strong feelings for. So this was not just a sexual relationship. What was happening here was he became her confidant, her safe space, her protector, the place that she says, I want to fall asleep in your arms and wake up there. Now that may sound like a cliche, but in actuality, it's symbolic. So I remember when my daughter was first born, and she was premature by 5 weeks, so she was very small. And when we first got back from the hospital, I would sleep with her right here. She fit like a little egg right here. And I would sleep with her like this at night. And I remember my husband being like, you're going to freaking drop her. What if you roll over? What if you jump up in the middle of the night? And I was like, what are you smoking? Like, there is no world where I would drop, turn over. There's no universe where this child will not be safe right here. This is where she is the safest. Right here. just like this. And of course, you know, I never slept again. I don't think I've slept since the day she was born, because you're always sleeping with one eye open. There was never any thought for a single second that this child would not be safe right there. That is an attachment relationship. An attachment is another animal entirely. That is not about sex. That is something completely different. That embodies your neurotransmitters in the same way that a mother becomes utterly obsessed with her child the moment that it comes out of her body. It's the same chemistry. It inhabits the same neurotransmitters. And the whole point of that chemistry is so that we will protect that life at our own peril, at the cost of our own. That's how this works. That's how humanity has learned to survive. So what happens in that kind of relationship is very different than in the new stages of a romance. In the new stages of a romance, it feels so important in that moment. But if you never make it to the second stage of that relationship, you get over it. 3 months, 6 months, it's, you know, you move on. You find another person to have a crush on. So you tell me, as the prosecution pulls up these text message threads, which are all about falling in love and being in love and how much they love each other and how much they want to get married and run away together and live in the Midway mansion and the whole thing. You tell me, as you watch him read those messages, if you think he's over it.
Sir, is that an accurate depiction of a February the 14th, 2022 text exchange between you and Miss Richins?
It is.
Your Honor, the state moves 2-27D into evidence and to publish.
No objection.
227D is it?
Scott, can I get 2-29D, please?
It's only the thrill of boy meeting girl, opposites attract. Oh, it's physical, only logical. You must try to ignore that it means more than that. Oh, what's love got to do with it? What's love but second-hand emotion? What's love got to do with it? Who needs a heart when the heart can be broken? It may seem to you that I'm acting confused when you're close to me. If I tend to look dazed, I've read it someplace. I've got cause to be. There's a name for it. There's a phrase that fits. But whatever the reason, you do it for me. Oh, what's love got to do with it? What's love but a second-hand emotion? What's love got to do with it? Who needs a heart when the heart can be broken? I've been sitting on a new direction, but I have to say, I've been thinking about my own protection.
Sir, is that an accurate depiction?
Yes.
Your Honor, statement was 2-31D in evidence.
What's love but a second hand emotion? What's love got to do it, yeah. Who needs a hug when the heart can be broken? Who needs a heart when the heart can be broken? Who needs a heart when the heart can be broken? Who needs a heart when the heart
Man.
Sit tight for a second.
Sir, would you like to take a break?
Mr. Grossman, level with me. Do you need a minute or two?
I don't know what I need, man.
Let's just start with that. Why don't we take a pause for a moment, sir, if you don't mind. Please have a seat. Mr. Grossman.
Yes.
I'm going to let you take a few minutes. Collect yourself. You're welcome to walk around the lobby. You are welcome to use the restroom. Do not speak to anyone. All right?
Nobody in here.
Nobody in here. In fact, I'm going to ask everybody that's in here to just sit tight for 5 minutes so we don't have any ambiguity about whether anybody is interacting with Mr. Grossman while he just takes a short break. Feel free to stretch your legs. There are going to be more questions. I just need you to be present, able to listen.
All right.
It's fine. Take 5 minutes. Don't talk to anybody. Okay?
Okay.
You go stretch your legs for a second.
I feel like I got something I want to say.
Yeah, but you're going to have to wait and just answer questions that are asked, okay?
Okay, I'm ready, though.
You sure? You sure you don't want to stretch your legs?
That ain't the legs that
All right.
need to stretch.
You can do what you need. Chris, we're going to go off the record for a couple of minutes.
And in fact, you could be with someone for 30 years. Like Eric and Kouri, although they weren't together that long, they were married. They have 3 children. That is not an attachment relationship. Clearly. So you can be in a long-term relationship and not feel that way with that person. And she tells us, and so does he in their text exchanges, that this is a different kind of relationship. And he says, if you're going to be mad at me, you need to come see me and do it in person. If you're going to say goodbye forever, because that's what you want, do it in person, or better yet, just love me. This guy. Love me like you have no choice in the matter. I want to be my best for you. I want us to be ourselves for each other. I mean, this guy is really intense. He really is. He's like a 50 on a 0 to 10 intensity level scale. So it's very understandable why she's so attracted to this, right? She's deeply insecure. He's very loving. He's very overt and clear in his communication. And again, he keeps acknowledging like he sees her for who she really is. There's something very genuine and authentic about him that I think she's beyond attracted to, that she wants desperately, right? Because if I don't have that in myself and I see it in somebody else, there's this part of us that thinks subconsciously, if I could just have them, then I could have that inside of me. And that doesn't work that way, but that's the way it feels. Like if I could just get them to be with me, then I will have what they have. But again, it doesn't work that way. Not at all. I love our love. I love you. Do you believe that we could be great together and for each other? I love you. Kind, outgoing, unique, and romantic. inches away from signing her divorce papers and falling madly in love with her soulmate. Good night, Lima Bean. So he took her name and he made an acronym out of it. Kind, outgoing, unique, romantic, and inches away from signing her divorce papers and falling madly in love with her soulmate. Good night, Lima Bean. What a freaking disaster this is. Such a freaking disaster. Does anybody else see what a disaster this is? This is, to me, what ended Eric's life. This is it. Thank you. That's not silly, babe. Not telling me would have been silly. Very, very happy for you. Of course, I'm going to celebrate with you. Sleep great. Keep me posted. I love you. And then he sends a picture of a boy and a girl, and their hearts are connected, and it says you and me. I mean, it's almost absurd, right? That's how over the top this is, but this is the guy. That's who we're talking about. You understand? Like, this is, we don't know Eric, but are you getting the sense from anything you've heard about Eric that he was like this? No. I'll take it back to 7 a.m. every morning or 9 at night every night. I'll just take 7 a.m. and 9 p.m. every day with multiple phone calls and visits in between. I love you. That is later on Valentine's Day, 6:30 p.m. So they were together. I love you. Want to be one of my Valentines? And then she said it again. I love you. That's 3 I love yous. Your love reminds me how much God loves me. Reminds me that I, my mom's son, am secretly the luckiest man on the face of the earth. It's safety. And safety is not just about I'm safe from danger. It's about love, because we are wired to make sure and protect that life that we are attached to, no matter what. So if you've ever had a sexual attachment relationship like this, you understand completely what I'm talking about. You know that it is a very different type of relationship, and it's one that, from the brain's perspective, embodies the same neurochemistry as a long-standing addiction to drugs and alcohol. This is why people who are, let's say, addicted to heroin, mothers that are addicted to heroin, won't think much of using their kids' money for diapers or formula on drugs. It's why people will steal from their loved ones and not think much of it. It's because if I am in an active drug addiction, I cannot simultaneously be in a close attachment-like relationship with a love partner or with a family member, because the drugs are embodying that physical space in my body, in my biology, in my physiology. So this is an addictive relationship. It's like a drug that you just can't get enough of, no matter what, no matter how much they love you, no matter how much you know that. It never feels like enough. It never feels secure. There's this constant need to chase, to get back to some time that you're always trying to grasp, but it's slipping from your fingers. And it's one that, if it's not with the right person, and I would argue, had I been advising Kouri Richins, once I learned of this relationship, I would be saying from the very beginning, this will not end well. While this might feel good in the short term, in a practical sense, this type of relationship does not work out well in the end. Not at all. Now, in the spiritual teachings, we call these types of relationships our greatest karmic teachers. That's right. These are like the messengers, like alleged to come into your life so that you can either learn the important lesson that you are supposed to learn at that time and elevate yourself into the next chapter of your best selfness, or fall deeper into the depths of despair and hell until hopefully you get it. And I think it's pretty safe to say that Kouri Richins didn't learn whatever lesson was meant to come of this relationship.
Same time, just before driving to Utah.
I'm guessing it was a little before that, but.
So right about the outset of COVID.
Right.
Scott, can I get Exhibit 3-1, please?
He's looking for her. She's over to the right of it.
The witness has it.
Thank you, Your Honor. It's been admitted. Can we publish it? And Scott, can you zoom in on the top portion? Thank you. Mr. Grossman, do you recognize that document before you?
I mean, I know what it's alluding to.
Mm-hmm.
I know of it, yes, sir.
And did you know about a trip planned to the secret St. Martin's Resort?
Yes.
So I'm going to take a look at the passenger name line. There's some initials there. RG with a birth date of 9 December 1982 and a gender of male.
Our birthdays
so
are
are those
close.
your initials?
Yes.
Is that your birth date?
Yes.
Perhaps obviously.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you. Did you and Kouri Richins at some point plan to go on this trip?
Yeah, she... I think that was a birthday present. I remember seeing a text or something. She sent it to me. We didn't discuss it much, but it was there.
Thank you, Scott. During that time that you were romantically involved with Miss Richens, did you love her?
Yes.
During that time, did you feel that she loved you?
Yeah. I have a tendency of going head over heels, though, probably more than most, so... You know, I think she did.
Did you exchange text messages with Kouri Richins?
Yes.
From the time you moved to Utah, about how often?
Daily, unless she was mad at me, or vice versa.
What topics on those messages did you discuss?
Same thing you would discuss with your best friend, plus house flipping stuff. Life.
Did you discuss her children?
Yes.
Sir, I'm going to show you now some text messages between you and Ms. Richins.
Okay.
They're the same ones I believe we've looked at before. I'm going to ask you if you've recognized them. If you can recognize them right away, that's fine. If you would like me to scroll down through them again, I'm happy to do that, okay?
Okay.
Scott, can I get Exhibit 2-13 Delta, please? Can you just kind of scroll through the whole
Now we
story?
go through these texts, and I will tell you the prosecution does not handle this well. I don't know if they prepped him for this, but he is sitting there reading these for what feels like forever, probably at least 40 minutes. There's no question being asked. They're just asking the jury to read the text on a screen, which fills the air with a lot of intensity, and he's alone reeling the whole time. You know, and you see him, he really starts to fall apart. It's funny. Normally, I would want to go into these text messages and read every single one. But in this instance, his presence is so telling that you only need to get an essence of these text messages to really understand what's going on here. And there's important information that we get about Kouri in these text messages because she, let's face it, deletes these. She doesn't think anyone's ever going to see these texts. She really doesn't. She has successfully gotten rid of them, however she figured it out, from her phone. I think it was a phone she typically used, but on a different number. Somehow she hid it. And then she was able to delete them. So, and I'm not sure if that was because it was on a cloud instead of a normal, like, phone hardware. I don't know. But she was able to delete them. These messages came from Josh because he at one point was told she did it and then wanted to help out, right? Wanted to help the prosecutors because he felt so guilty that he was the catalyst. And here is my assessment, if you haven't figured it out already. This man is the catalyst. He was the accelerant. Yes, she wanted the property. Yes, she needed the money. But she needed Eric for his money just as much as she needed the money.
I think she liked me. So whether, I mean, yeah, it appeared as though it's done, but who knows?
It was done, right?
Yeah, it was ultimately.
I mean, after that, you stopped seeing each other, correct? And did you?
This is the first time I've seen her since that day. So
Which was either late 2022 or early 23. You don't remember for sure.
I don't know. It was.
Well, it sounds like probably in 2022.
It was cold outside, so it was late. The same year that Eric passed.
Okay.
It was the end of that year. That's when it was.
Let me just point out that even today, right now in this courtroom, this man doesn't see this relationship as over. Let me just reiterate that. He loves her so much, it has a question mark at the end. He has not closed the door on that relationship. The frickin' defense attorney just asked him a question about when the relationship ended, and he, in his mind, could not end it.
I think she liked me. So whether, I mean, yeah, it appeared as though it's done, but.
Do you see what I'm saying? This is not, ladies and gentlemen, this is not about sex. This relationship was major. And it is not easy for Kouri Richins to be sitting in this room across from him right now. No question.
Or the very beginning of the next.
Did you exchange more text messages after that, or was that it?
Not that I can recall. I don't know.
And yes, were there benefits to his death versus getting a divorce? She had all kinds of worries about the community turning against her, his family going after custody of the boys. She was worried about divorce, and it seems like it was an option she just could not get into her head and see an exit that way. She was too worried. She needed him. She really needed him. I mean, that's the truth. But I think she probably figures, well, if he's dead, then I actually get sympathy from everybody, right? Because I'm the widow. And because I've successfully kept Josh out of the center of things. He's my secret confidant. It won't be such a big deal for me to like sneakily, slowly move him into the fold. And much like if you follow the Karen Reed saga, much like that saga where the people who are really responsible for the death are acting like they're innocent. They're hanging out with the family. They have stickers on their cars and in the front of their businesses that say justice for JJ. They think that the way to portray themselves publicly is as though they're innocent and that that's going to carry the day. She acts like this sweet, wholesome girl, like she's, she's not a Mormon, but like she is a Mormon, at least in public. Then, of course, we hear her on these jail calls and she's got like a sailor's mouth. And that's what we're getting over and over again. What you're getting from her friends, from the business relationships, you're getting the sense that she cared so much about the exterior. That's where the effort went. It went to how everybody else is going to see her. The reality she kept hidden. The only person who she let in periodically, because she felt safe with him, was this guy, which is, again, to my point, why he's so important. But here's what she doesn't foresee. And this is where the children's book becomes really important. He at one point talks about spirituality, how they had a shared or separate, it's not clear, spiritual experience. And remember, the book is about Eric being ever present in the boys' lives every day. So you tell me, what would be the fastest buzzkill to your new romance after you kill your husband? What could be a bigger buzzkill than thinking that your husband who you murdered is hanging around like a ghost? Because that's what she's writing about. Whether she believes it or not, some part of her is thinking it because she's writing it. And that's what the book she publishes is about. And then she's doing tours talking about it. So there were two reasons why the relationship with Josh does not last long at all, maybe not even 6, 7, maybe 8 months max after Eric dies.
Did you and Kouri Richins stay romantically involved after Eric Richins' death?
Yes.
For how long?
You'd have to look at my phones to tell me that. I'm going to guess, bless you, 6 months, maybe 8, 10. Best guess.
And then what happened?
I don't know. Just had a falling out, disagreements. I think, things changed after Eric passed. I mean, I don't know what to say. Things weren't the same, so I don't know if that led to us parting ways or what. But there was a lot on both of us. You know what I mean?
Understand.
One, she's scared that he's around, so she feels tremendous guilt and shame. She's stressed. She's got way more responsibility now than she thought or realized she would, apparently. She also has these legal battles on her hands because, she didn't foresee the house being in a trust. So the stress ratcheted up. But I would guess the most important distinction, the biggest problem with why that relationship could not and did not last, wasn't even the ghost of Eric in her psyche, but was she could no longer tolerate his gaze at her, that stare, that constant analysis, the sense that this man is looking through you. He's not looking at you. He's looking through you, like into your soul. And that's the kind of relationship he wants with her because he loves her. And he sees her in this very obtuse way. You know, she's smart and, beautiful and whatever. The acronym that he gives in one of his texts. He loves her, but he sees through her, and that she can't tolerate. While Eric was alive, that was attractive because she was still innocent. She had never done anything like this. So there wasn't as much to hide. Yes, she had to hide some of the financial fears and trauma and certainly the debt she was in. But in her mind, that was temporary because once these houses sell, she's going to be a trillionaire. She's going to be worth 10, 12, 30 million dollars, right? Because she's not really calculating this out, pound by pound, play by play. It's all sort of theoretical and abstract in her mind. So it's not until Eric dies that she realizes, like, I can't tolerate the way he's looking at me because I have to carry the guilt and shame and the secret. And keeping a secret like that from this kind of relationship, insufferable. And you add all that up, and that's why this relationship did not have a prayer. And the truth is, I mentioned this already. If she had sought my counsel minutes after she told me about this man, in fact, before they ever even had a sexual relationship, I would have looked at her and said, run as fast and as far away as you can. I get it. It's like somebody dangled a gold star, a silver carrot, a big shiny diamond. Run. Run, because this is not going to end well. It never, ever does, because it can't. These are not people who you are supposed to keep around. Right? We're not built to operate at that level of intensity. Think about it, right? Think about it. If you combine the kind of love that you have for your child with a intense sexual relationship, what the do you think is going to happen? So this, my friends, was the motive for murder. This was it. If Josh Grossman had not been a thing in this world, Eric is probably still alive. If it's about money alone, he's probably still alive. But this guy took what was a bad situation and blew it up, ignited it, set a match. And she's still hoping to this very day, at this very moment, that we will buy what the defense presented during their opening statement, that we will see her as the grieving widow instead of the wicked witch.
It is the defense counselor's duty to protect the rights of the individual, as it is the prosecution's duty to uphold and defend the laws of the state. Justice for all. Only we have a problem here.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. I see the world through eyes covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright.